Okay. Thank you, Susie, and thank you for everybody to attend today's virtual conference seminar. It's regarding the national park research. My name is Guang Yu Wang, and I'm the associate dean in the Faculty of Forestry and the director for the National Park Research Center. Today we have a keynote speak from Dr. Kejian. I think we call Coco. So he's a professor in the School of the Economic and Management in Shanghai, in Beijing, China University of the Geosciences in Beijing, China. And his topic is about geopark and geotourism in China and a sustainable approach to a geoheritage conservation and a local development. So I will later I will turn to Dr. Wu for the introduction to the speaker. I just want to tell you guys next week we have another lecture. It's about Canadian net zero challenge and concerned citizen making impact. Was taught by Charlie and for Harvard University and Advanced Leadership Initiative. And he also the founder of the Impact Net Zero. So this is quite relevant to our national park research. So next week will be 4 to 5 instead of the 6 o'clock because Professor Lin was in Harvard in the eastern side of the Americas. So now I would like to turn to Dr. Wu for the further introduction to our keynote speaker today. Dr. Wu.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning in China and Eastern country, and good evening in North America. And it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Xu, Kejian Xu, professor from China Geosciences University in Beijing campus to give our talk today. Dr. Xu and I, we met about almost 12 or 13 years ago when she was a visiting scholar to Canada and in the University of Manitoba. She stayed in China for, stayed in Canada for 1 year, and she visited several Canadian national parks, from Bank National Park on top of the Rocky Mountains to the East Coast, Fundy National Park on the east coast of Atlantic Ocean, the Fundy Bay. And then from Rocky Mountain National Park in central Canada up to the north to Iwawik National Park in Yukon territory between Canada and the US border. So she knows Canada's and the Canadian national parks well. When she back to China, Kejian has been working on the issues and also projects with China's geoparks a lot. And she has done a lot of work. And as you all know that the geoparks, or whether it's a national geoparks or international geoparks, are different compared with the national parks in terms of management. The management mandate and management practice are different. And Dr. Xu will give us a talk today and provide more detailed information from this perspective. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Xu to give our talk. The stage is yours, Kejian.
Okay, thank you. Susie, can I share my screen right now?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Is okay?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, good morning, everyone. My name is Kejian. I'm from China University Geosciences, Beijing. First, I would like to extend my appreciation to Professor Dr. Wanli Wu, Professor Dr. Guangyuan Wang, and the other colleagues from the Faculty of Forestry and the National Park Research Center for inviting me to participate in this seminar. It's my great pleasure to have this opportunity to give a talk about geoparks and geotourism in China. As just Professor Wanli Wu said, from 2010 to 2011, I did research in the University of Manitoba as a visiting scholar. It was wonderful to have opportunities to visit some national parks of Canada, do a volunteer job in Invervik National Park, and work with the Stonehammer UNESCO Global Geopark. I studied to do my master's degree in geotourism in 1999, when the local governments of China applied to become national geoparks. In 2000, 8 national geoparks were approved. Today, 281 national geoparks and 41 UNESCO global geoparks have been established. And China has achieved great things in geoparks and geotourism. As a witness to the development of China's geoparks, I have been so lucky to be engaged in geopark research and practices during the last 2 decades. Today, I would like to share China's geoheritage and the geoparks and geo-conservation and geotourism in China's geoparks. And I will discuss the challenges that China's geoparks are facing. Hopefully, it will be helpful to the development of Canadian geoparks. First, today, I would like to explain the definition about the geopark and geotourism. What is a UNESCO Global Geopark? UNESCO Global Geoparks are single, unified geographic areas where sites and the landscapes of the international geological significance are managed with a holistic concept of education, protection, and sustainable development. So what is the difference between a national park and a national geopark in China? National geoparks in China, a national park refers to a specific land area or sea area whose main purpose is to protect the representative natural ecosystems across the country. It has exceptional natural ecosystem, landscape, heritage, as well as abundant biodiversity. With large protected areas and intact ecological processes, it is of global value and is a symbol of a strong national identity. So national geopark is a natural territory that based on one or more geosites of unique geological scientific significance across the country and a high aesthetic value at the main body and integrated other natural and cultural landscapes. What is geotourism? Geotourism is a relatively new concept which has gained rapid development over the past decades. According to Professor Dao Lin from Australia, geotourism is defined as a form of natural area tourism that specifically focuses on landscape and geology. It promotes tourism of geosites, conservation of geodiversity, and understanding of earth sciences through appreciation and learning. This is achieved by independent visits to geosites, use of geotrails and viewpoints, guide tours, geo-activities, and visit centers. So geotourism supports geopark to achieve the goals of conservation, education, and the sustainable development. What is the development history of UGGPs? In 1996, the idea of geoparks was developed. And then in 2000, representatives of 4 European territories signed a convention declaring the creation of European Geoparks network. In 2004, UNESCO headquartered 16 European Geoparks and 8 Chinese Geoparks joined to create the GGN, Global Geoparks Network. In 2015, the 195 member states of UNESCO ratified the creation of the UNESCO Geosciences and Geoparks program. In 2021, the total number of geoparks in GGN is 169 in 44 countries. I will give you more details. This is the distribution of the UNESCO Global Geoparks. And you can see the distribution of the number of the UGGPs by continent. In 2021, the greater majority of UGGP are located in Europe and in Asia Pacific region. There are 8 UGGPs in North America, Canada, 5 UGGPs in South Central America and the Caribbean, and only 2 UGGPs in Africa. So what are the difference, development history of geoparks in China? Actually, this concept was initiated very early 1980s. The conservation of geoscience was conducted by governmental agencies and promoted by NGOs. In early 1990s, the concept and management of geoparks were introduced. In 2000, the Minister of Land and Resources issued a notification to nominate national geoparks and outlined the regulations, evaluation criteria, and approval procedures. In 2002, the Chinese Geoparks Network, responsible for the coordination and the management of national geoparks and global geoparks, was established. In 2004, the 25 global geoparks was announced. 8 of them were located in China. At the same year, the first international UNESCO conference on geoparks held in Beijing. In 2018, due to the Chinese government reform, the newly founded National Forestry and Grassland Administration was made responsible for the geoparks and administration instead of the Minister of Land and Resources. In 2021, there are 41 UGGPs and 281 national geoparks in China, which cover an area with over 60,000 square kilometers. This is the map of geoparks in China. You can see there are red dots and green dots as well. So red dots means national geopark, green dot means UGGP. So in 2000, there are only 11 national geoparks, but right now, so far, we have 281 national geoparks. This is the map of global geoparks of China. The total number is 41, as I mentioned just before. So you can see the name on the map, and you can check some information on our website that we'll talk about later. So this is the number of new GGN members from China, because the establishment of the GGN was a good sign in the perspective of providing an efficient way for local economy development, as well as geo-conservation, which encouraged many Chinese national geoparks in becoming aspiring UGGPs, then UGGPs. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we stopped aspiring UGGP validation work. So we don't have new global geoparks so far. So let's move to the key part of geo-heritage and the geoparks in China. So here is a map showing the tectonic setting of China. China is located, you can see from the map, China is located at the convergence of 3 geological plates: the Pacific plate, the Euro-Asian plate and the India plate. It has a complex and diverse geological tectonic pattern. That's why we have so many national geoparks and the UGGPs. This is a map of a geological map of China. China has well-developed strata, various sedimentary types, complex geological structure, where the active zones and the stable zones coexist. It also has frequent magmatic activities along evaluation history, as well as different metamorphism. Therefore, China is one of the regions with the important geological characteristics in the world, where diverse geodiversity and the landscapes have been well preserved. This is the terrain map of China. From this map, you can see the vast land expanses of China include plateaus, plains, basins, hills, and mountains. They occupy nearly 2/3 of the land, higher in the west and lower in the east, which result in 3 tectonic geomorphic steps. This is the map of 3 tectonic geomorphic steps. The average altitude of the first step is more than 4,000 meters. The highest step is formed by the Qinghai-Tibet plateau here at an average height of 4,000 meters. The highest peak in the world is known as the roof of the world. On the second step are large basins and the plateaus. Most of the ridge are 1,000 meters to 2,000 meters high. In this step, in third step, which has abundant in broad plains, is dotted with the hills and the lower mountains with the altitudes of over 500 meters. This is the Climatical regionalization of China. You can see we have 14 temperature zones from the plateau frigid zone to the equatorial tropical zone. This is the landform regionalization of China. China is divided into 4 zones. The southeast Muson South China style landform zone. The northeast Muson Castrazine style landform zone. The northwest Inner Mongolia Xinjiang style landform zone. And the southwest Qinghai Tibet Plateau landform zone. Thanks to the complex geological and geographical settings, China is featured with plenty of geological heritage. Here is a classification of geoheritage in China. The geoheritage can be divided into 7 categories. I will explain this one by one. Number 1, geological sections. Geological sections are mainly distributed in North, East, and Central China. Number 2, geological structures, which is the product of a crustal movement, is mainly distributed in North and Central China. Slow and long-term crustal movements cause rock deformation, relative displacement, and various rock formations. Number 3, paleontology. Paleontology is represented by important fossil sites, assorted paleofauna, dinosaurs, birds, and petrified woods, etc. So you can see there are 3 types of fossil sites. For example, important dinosaur fossil sites, important petrified wood fossil sites, and important paleontological communities fossil sites. Number 4, mineral and ore deposits. Geoparks characterized by mineral and ore deposits are relatively few and primarily located in Xinjiang Northwest. This is Coco UGGP, which was established approved in 2017. Number 5, geomorphological landscape, which are divided into Dansha landform, karst landform, known as landform, volcanic landform, glacial landform, desert landform, sandstone landform, granite landforms, and the marine aberration landforms. Let's start with the karst landforms. This map shows the distribution of carbonated rocks in China. As you know, the area containing carbonated rock strata in China covers 3.44 million square meters, accounting for more than 1/3 of the land area. The table shows the regionalization of karst landform and karst geoparks. We have 3 zones characterized with karst landforms: the South China Zone, the Qinghai-Tibet Zone, and the North China Zone, which has different karst landforms. This is the map of geological map of China. You can see the red color part, it means the granites. So this is actually the distribution of the granite in China. You can see no country has more granite landforms than China, and most of the granite mountains are tourism destination. They're found nearly every province in the country. As there are 15 UGGPs with granite landforms in 41 UGGPs, accounting for 36.6%. The table shows the granite landforms and the granite geoparks in China. We have 3 zones of granite landforms: the South China Zone, the North China Zone, and the Northwest Zone, with different granite landforms. And this is the distribution of significant granite geoparks. For example, Huangshan, Sanqinshan, Tianzhushan, Coco, like Tianzhushan, etc. This is the map of lowest landform in China. Lowest landforms are many scattered in the dry or semi-dry continental climate zones in northwestern China. So you may see some national geoparks with lowest landforms in Shanxi province. This is the map of significant volcanoes in China. So volcanic landforms are mainly distributed in East China along the Pacific coastal domes and the active tectonic belts in the southwest region. So you can see from the north to the south, we have different volcanoes and the different volcanic geoparks. For example, Wudalianchi, Leiqiong, Tenchong National Geopark. So this is the distribution of glaciers in China. Contemporary glaciation and the ancient glacier features are prevalent in extremely high mountains in the Kunlun Mountain, the Qilian Mountains, and the Henduan Mountains. We also have desert landforms in 2 areas. One is the northwest arid area, and the second one is the semi-arid area of Central Eastern Inner Mongolia. So this is the map of the desert and the Gobi in China. So actually, Dansha landforms are very famous in China, especially in southeast of China. Dansha landforms are widely distributed in East and the Northwest China. So this map is the distribution of Dansha landforms. You can see they are centralized in 3 regions. For example, South China region, Sichuan Basin region, and the Qilian to Qilian region. The table is the regionalization of Dansha landforms and the Dansha geoparks. in 3 different zones: the South China, then the southern margin of Sichuan Basin, and the lowest plateau in Shanxi, Gansu, and Ningxia. So their very famous one is Dansha UGGP and Zhangye UGGP. Dansha UGGP is a representative of the Dansha, the South China zone. Zhangye UGGP is a representative of the Dansha landform of the lowest plateau in Shanxi, Gansu, and Ningxia. So number 5, hydrogeological landscapes. National geoparks with hydrogeological landscapes are mainly distributed in the watersheds of Yangtze River and the Yellow River. And the last one is environmental geoheritage. It is primarily centralized in Western China, with the majority scattered in Southwest China, Northwest China, and the Tibetan Plateau. So Kunlun and the Chilean mountains are the northern edge of the Tibetan Plateau. Due to the importance of the mountain systems and the geoheritage that reflects the evolution history of the planet, Mountain Kunlun UGP plays an important role in geoconservation in this region. So let's move to the geoconservation and the geotourism in China's geoparks. First, let me introduce the Chinese geoparks management structure. Chinese geoparks have a multi-tier administrative structure. The top tier is National Forestry and Grassland Administration. And there is a Chinese geoparks network, which supported by National Forestry and the Grassland Administration. So they just responsible for the management and coordination of the geoparks, including national parks and global geoparks. So this is the website of the Chinese Geoparks Network. You can see a lot of information on that. If you want more information, just go there. And the second one is the Provincial Department of Forestry and Grassland. The third is Municipal People's Government of Forestry and Grassland. And the fourth is Geopark Administrative Committee. I will explain this later. So with the tourism development company, sometimes in some geoparks, they have own geopark management bureau who is responsible for the daily work of the geopark. There are 3 types of the geopark management body. First, an independent management body is responsible for the implementation of geopark projects, geoheritage survey and assessment, the geoconservation of geological heritage and the ecological heritage, environment, organization and the implementation of scientific research, science education, marketing and the promotion, infrastructural construction, and the exchange with other geoparks. The second one is a shared management body. It is employed to administer UGGPs and other designations, and under the leadership of the local government's administration committee. It has its own office, who is only responsible for the daily work of the geopark. The third is a management body subordinated to a government department. For example, Xinwen UGGP in Sichuan province is subordinate to the local natural resources and planning bureau. I will explain more right now. So this is the other designation in addition to UGGPs. China's UGGPs typically cover a broad range of areas and overlap with other protected areas or national branded tourism destination. So a shared management body facilitates the planning, protection, and the management of the area. So we have some UGGPs with UNESCO designation and the national designation. For example, like UNESCO Global Geopark, World Heritage Site, World Biosphere Reserve. And the national designation such as 5A National Tourist Attraction, National Park of China, National Forest Park of China, Nature Reserve of China, and China Cultural Heritage. So we have like Huangshan, Lushan, Taishan, Sanjinshan, Yandangshan, Shenongjia, Donghua has different designations at the same time. So a shared management body is a wonderful way for them to manage the geopark and the other designations at the same time. So here is the Donghuang UGGP, because
Professor Xu, so you, hello, Professor Xu, you just scroll, and now we can see your screen now. You
okay, let me, oh, sorry. It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, they need a break. Okay, so Donghuang UGGP overlaps with many other brands, but under the leadership of the Donghuang municipal government, which administer other tourism area in Donghuang city. They have like Yadang National Geopark and Yumenguan Pass Reserve, the crescent moon-shaped spring, and the Mughal crotters. So at the same time, they have the only one administration body to manage them. Okay, finance. We have 5 ways to get finance. First is a fiscal policy of local governments. For large investments in infrastructure and venue construction, the administration submits a budget to the financial department of the government 1 year in advance. When they are approved, you can get the finance from the local governments. The second is the special funds for geo-conservation. Special funds are issued by the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Land Resource, or by the Provincial Finance Department to protect the geo-heritage at the global and the national levels. Since 2002, the central government and the local governments have invested 8.3 billion yuan. It equals 1.3 billion US dollars in the special funds for geo-conservation. I'm so sorry because I only have the data from the 2017 from Department of the Geological Environment of Minister of Land and Resources. The third is support from scientific funds. So the funding is provided for geosciences and the geo-heritage related research, such as geo-heritage surveys. The fourth is operating income, because enterprises pay rent or management fees to the administration committee every year. So franchising projects and the tickets serve as the operating income shared by the administrative committee. The last one is social investment. Since 2002, the Geoparks received 33.8 billion yuan, equals to 5.3 billion US dollars of the social funds. The data also from the 2017. Geo-conservation legal framework. Geo-conservation is quite important in Chinese geoparks. As you know, China's geoparks are state-owned assets. All national laws and the regulations are the legal basis for the geo-conservation and the geo-heritage protection. We have the State Council have set forth administrative regulations such as land management law, forest law, environmental protection law, soil and water conservation law, cultural heritage protection law, wildlife conservation law, mineral resource law, water law, etc. So you can see there are no specific laws on UGGPs in China, and we have the draft of regulations and national geoparks, but have been completed for many years, but have not been issued. So we still have a long way to go. In China's geoparks, a three-tier protection zone system have been used. The first one is the co-protected areas. They are places which have been preserved in their natural state and are very sensitive to human impact. The places have been designated mainly for conservation purposes. No infrastructure is permitted, even the trails and wood path, etc. The second one is special protected area. There are places which already have basic visitor facilities and have a minimum carrying capacity and sensibility. So they are ideal for education, not only for conservation. The third is integrated protected area. They have a high carrying capacity. Most of the visitor facilities are already in place, and the area can serve recreational purposes. Let's talk about geotourism. This is quite important in Chinese geoparks during the last 2 decades. As you see, geotourism plus geoparks are an excellent way to poverty alleviation. Geotourism and the geoparks perfectly match with the national poverty alleviation strategies and policies, which open up tremendous business and academic research opportunities, utilized and revitalized existing geological resources. So geotourism is a sustainable form of tourism, and it has the potential to contribute economic benefits for local communities. And geoparks are pioneers in the development of the geotourism. A lot of tourism activities have been held in geoparks in China. They bring a lot of economic impacts, such as tourists, new business opportunities, job creation, and the revenue generation as well. First, I would like to talk about the increasing number of the visitors. Geoparks have stimulated the social economic activities and sustainable development by attracting an increasing number of the visitors. I'm so sorry because I have no access to receive the to gain all the data from the 41 UGGPs. I would like to show an example of Sanjinshan UGGP because I have been working there for more than 10 years. So this is the figure is the number of the tourists and the tourism income of Sanjinshan UGGP from the 2012 to 2020, because the Sanjinshan UGGP was approved in 2011. So at the beginning, so you can see the tourism income and the number of the tourists has been increasing a lot. So actually, geotourism created new job and business opportunities. So you can see the number of the hotels, motels, hostels, and the farm inns with the geoparks. We have the data from 2017 as well. The number is 23,500 in total. And then the travel agents, guides, event organizer and operators, transportation, shops, restaurants and cafe, accommodation, infrastructure, construction companies, museum design, printing, local food and souvenir manufacturers. The third is the environmental survey, planning and the conservation professionals like geoscientists and the ecologists and the research opportunities. So that's why my student and my colleagues and I have been working for so many Chinese geoparks. This is some examples I would like to show everyone here. Is about the infrastructures development in China, like the transportation, like the tourist service, parking lots, toilets, and the hotels, like something like that. And this is the museum and the interpretative panels and some educational books, publications. The third is revenue generation. As you know, each geopark in China generates an average of $26 million per year, almost. Unlike mining, this is a sustainable source of income as long as the geoparks is well management and the geosites are well protected. Okay, let's move to the discussion and the conclusion. The establishment of the geoparks presents a sound opportunity for China to achieve geo-conservation of its resources whilst the foresting sustainable development of its regional access areas. So geotourism and the geoparks is a real tool for geo-conservation and local development. That's as China's natural facilities are very vulnerable and the sustainable use is the only operation. Therefore, geo-conservation is a fundamental element in geotourism development. In order to achieve sustainability in tourism development in China, tourism must be maintained in such a way as not to cause negative disturbance to nature, culture, society, and the economy. Thus, when managed in a sustainable manner, geotourism is likely to provide long-term improvement in local development. However, fundamental to the management of the sustainable geotourism is an understanding of the interrelationship between geodiversity, geo-conservation, and the tourism development, emphasizing the critical importance of the research in order to find the ideal balance between these three central complements. So you can see the geodiversity, tourism, geo-conservation. The three central components are geo-conservation, sustainable geotourism, and the local development. This is the internship between geodiversity, conservation, and tourism. Tourism negative impacts. The geopark should pay attention to the negative impact of tourism on the environment when determining the geopark's capacity. China has the largest population in the world, but unfortunately, the worst vacation schedules. Geoparks will receive a large number of tourists during the peak season, which causes crowding. You can see the photo. Yeah, they have a very normal situation during the peak season. This large influx of tourism will not only place great pressure on the reception, but destroy the original ecological environment and geoheritage. The need to build infrastructure, roads, and the fences is urgent and will also destroy the geoheritage and the environment. That's why we should pay more attention on that. And the visitor management. China mainly adopts engineering protection, manual inspection, video monitoring, and other means to protect the geoheritage. So usually the geoparks have attempted to use closed circuit television, CCTV, to cover some key geo areas and the key geosites. The monitoring system will transmit the data to relevant departments in real time to achieve effective risk control if some minor changes occur. You can see the photos on the left side. Visitors to Zhangye UGGP. Zhangye UGGP is characterized with the very vulnerable Dansha landforms. The visitors were aware that the landform is not vulnerable, but they still climbed over a fence into the protected area and trampled on the Rainbow Hills, which is very, very fragile, which not only break the law, but cause the damage that could take a maximum of 60 years to recover. It's no kidding. So it's a quite serious issue. Okay, let's make a conclusion. First, due to the diverse geological and the geographical settings, China has 2,089 national geoparks and 41 UGGBs so far, which is a leading country in the world. A geotourism and the geopark approach adapted in China is proven to be economically effective in both geo-conservation and the rural development, especially in vulnerable environments. During the past 2 decades, the geoparks in China have made some significant achievements in geo-conservation and geotourism. But however, some geoparks in China are still in the primary stage of the development. They are such as problems as inefficient conservation management, the lack of geopark legislation, ineffective interpretation and educational activities, less community involvement, etc. That's why we still have a long way to work on the geoparks and try to better the management and the development of the global geoparks and the national geoparks as well. That's all. Thank you very much. We are looking forward to seeing you in our geoparks. We have more opportunity to work together and to better the Chinese geoparks. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for your this wonderful, excellent talk. It's blown me away though. I thought I know a lot of Chinese national park, but for the geopark, I have absolutely no idea what it looked like. But the presentation gave me great impression on the Chinese national park. The photo is great. So I want to take this opportunity to ask the 2 small questions. So you mentioned about the social fund, the social investment. I haven't heard anything about that. Is there any? Can you tell me a little bit about the social fund and how to contribute? It's a lot of money, right? 5.3 billion US dollar. This is the one thing. A second question, I would like to know more about the share management model. I can do 2 questions first. Thank you.
Okay, the first question is about the social investments. So you want to know the source of the social investments, or you want to know the number?
I need to know what kind of mechanism, how to get the funding. Is it the private or public or the government, or what the social investment here? Okay,
this is a very good question. You know, as you see in this figure, I just put the tourism development company. Yeah, usually it's state-owned, not state-owned, the geopark-owned company. So it's state-owned company, and this is one of this is not a social funds. The social funds from the enterprise private companies. Okay, for example, we can rent the geopark, a land of geopark to a private company. They will have the operation and the management for like more than 30 years or 15 years, or only, something like that. It's like a license, operation.
Okay, it's from business center.
For example, like the cableways.
Like a restaurant, like a facility for for Zhangjiajie, like a cable elevator.
Yes,
right?
Yes, right. Yeah.
Okay.
They're owned by the private companies. Usually, sometimes the roads they were contributed by private companies. Something like that. The second, what is the second question?
Share management. What kind of mechanism?
Share management. Okay. Yeah, here. Okay. So shared management. a shared management body, because usually, as I said, I just mentioned some geoparks with different designations. There are many, not only UGB, but also there are World Heritage Site. For example, Huangshan UGB also a World Heritage Site, and the Wudalianzi UGB also a World Biosphere Reserve. And Shenlongjia has 3 UNESCO designations: UGGP, World Heritage Site, and the World Biosphere Reserve. So they need a shared management body to administrate all the designations at the same time by one body.
Okay. Okay. It's not like a government, community, and the geopark. They are shared management. It's not that.
They manage everything.
Okay.
Related to the related work to the geopark. Yeah, not only the geopark, maybe the World Heritage Sites or World Biosphere Reserve or national designations as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's a different concept we have here. We share management is sometimes like joint management from national park, from local community, and also from the private the association.
Yeah, for example, in this case, in China, we only have one management body to manage everything at the same time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I open up for the question now. Is anyone?
Thank you very much, Professor Wu, Professor Wang.
Yeah, thank you. So, question for audience.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Yes, go ahead, please.
Oh, hi. Thank you, Professor Xu. I really enjoy your sharing. I thought I know something about national parks, but now I feel I know nothing about geoparks. I'm just wondering, how do you think about the institution reform, like which transfers the management of geopark from Ministry of Land and Resources to Ministry of Forestry? How could a forest department effectively support geopark development, especially the science-based technical support? Thank you.
Okay, that's really a good question, because we always ask the same question to ourselves. As I said before, the new department of the central government, the Forestry and Grassland Administration was founded in 2018. So all the functional management have been moved from the Ministry of Land and Resources to that department. Actually, it's they have different office who responsible for different parks. Right now we have a system including three designations. For example, national parks, protected reserved area, and the third is natural parks, not national park, natural parks, such as Forestry Park, Western Land Park, Geopark, etc. So actually, the government officers who used to be responsible for the management and administration of the geoparks, they just transmit from the MLR to a National Forestry and Grassland Administration. They still responsible for that duty. Actually, but it's not good enough, because most of the officers, they were major in forestry and grassland. They're familiar with their duties, which they used to do, but not with geology and geoparks. That is a big issue. So they are not very interested in national geoparks development right now. But fortunately, we have the Chinese Geoparks network, as I mentioned just now. So who is responsible for the administration and coordination of the geoparks, including UGGPs and national geoparks? They still have, they can give more suggestions, accommodations to the minister. So with the national geoparks is still increasing, the number is still increasing, but we should pay more attention on that area. Okay, this is the answer.
Thank you. You mentioned the geopark network. Can you explain who made up the national geopark networks, like scientists or officials?
Yeah, so you see the website here. You can go to the website. This is managed by Chinese Geoparks network. So they put the network. They were take charge in geological science of China. Geological science, you know, Chinese Science of Academy, Geological Science Academy of China. So
it's
they're
like
familiar with geology. They're experts. There are a lot of experts in geopark management and geological survey.
Thank you for your answer.
Oh, you're welcome.
May I ask a question?
Go ahead, please.
Thanks for she's really fantastic presentation, and I know a little more about geopark and national park. And I'm also very glad to see China has increased so many areas, so many parks in the past decade. My question is, you mentioned the difference about national park and geopark. I was wondering when the government establishing a new site or choosing a new site for national park or national geopark, do they have any difference during the choosing, during the establishing new sites? I mean, what's the criteria difference between those two parks?
Yeah, actually, we're very completed criteria for the application of national geoparks and also UNESCO global geoparks. The main thing is they should have significant geology, geological heritage sites with the different level. For example, if we would like to apply for a national geopark, it should be nationally should be like across. You should be the excellent in the home country. If you would like to be a global geopark, you should be the significant, globally significant. But national park was actually it was established since 1980s, quite a long time ago. Compared to the national park, national geopark is very new. It's like a new body. So national park, they are more focused on the natural ecosystem, especially, and they should have exceptional natural ecosystem, landscape, heritage, as well as abundant biodiversity. So this is quite different places. But why there are so many UGGPs or national geoparks in China has overlapped with the national parks, because usually the national parks still have geological scientific significance. For example, like Huangshan UGGP, Huangshan National Park, and the Sanjinshan UGGP like is also Sanjinshan National Park. Many national parks just like that, but we have different goals for the two designations.
Okay, really useful and really, really interesting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Question.
But I have to mention, Geopark is not only about geology; it's also about culture, people, and the communication as well.
Okay.
Professor Xu, can I ask a question? Quick one.
Oh, thank you very
have,
much. Yeah, Dr. Yang.
Yeah, you have mentioned about the revenue generated on average by a geopark, which is 26 million US dollar, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Can you explain a bit more about these figures? How does it being calculated, and what sort of elements have been considered when you're doing this calculation? Thank you.
Yeah, you mean this one or this one? 26 million.
No, yeah, this one.
Yeah, this one.
Revenue,
Yeah.
revenue generation.
Yeah, actually, I get this number from your previous presentation. Yeah, I just struggle with this number. Actually, it's quite difficult for us to get the data about the individual geopark in China, but we can have the statistics from the tourism department. They usually were counted the tourism revenue each year. So they make from the sources are from tickets, accommodation, transportation, and assumption, like buying some products, local products as well, something like that. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe this data is from the land and the Ministry of Land and the Resources.
I think it probably is only one geopark, right? It's not the whole China geopark. Probably
This
only
is the
one.
average number. Average number.
Average number. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Average number. Yeah, because it's hard to estimate. Yeah. Just give you an image, like something like that. Yeah. Okay, Dr. Wu. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
I think this is a very important.
From Sydney, from Australia. He's a coordinator from Hong Kong UGGP or Danshanshan UGP as well.
Professor Xu, my suggestion is the figures the reason why I asked it is because it's very important as a reference for or even justification for a lot of government authorities. So I think it will be really worthwhile for us to do a bit more research, particularly for those Chinese geoparks involved, and then we'll have some sort of really concrete figures, for actually promoting geoparks establishment in other places or countries. And that will be really helpful. So
this is a very good suggestion. Thank you very much. I will get. I think it's easier for me to gather some data from the 41 UGGPs first. Yeah, so I can connect. Gather the exact.
I'm very happy to work with you on this because I always looking at these figures because there's a lot of government authorities have been asking this. For why they have to establish a geopark. So what sort of particularly economic benefit that can be brought to the local people. So this is very important. So if you're happy with that, I'll be very happy to work with you on this.
Okay, I'm very happy too. We can work on this together. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, we need the exact number.
Hi, Dr. Xu. Can I ask a question?
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for an excellent presentation on the Geopark, which is a brand new concept for me. and I am from Qingdao. We have granite in Laoshan. We have a lot of granites. We are always concerned about the impacts from acid rain to the granite. However, acid rain is not necessarily caused by climate change. I was wondering if climate change has any kind of impact on the geoparks in terms of the geomorphology. Thank you.
So you just worry about the AYSA rain, right?
No, I mean like acid rain.
Climate change is one of the examples.
Yeah, it's not caused by climate change, but I don't know whether there's a climate change impact on the geomorphology of those geoparks.
Okay, that's a very good issue, a very good question, because at this moment, UNESCO has paid more attention to climate change on geoparks. As you know, we have evaluation and revalidation every 4 years for each geopark. So mostly at this, the more and more evaluators were asking some questions about climate change. What have you done, and what kind of challenges are you facing in your geopark? So they always says that the geoparks should use new energy instead of traditional energy, and also the encouragement the geoparks management, geopark management administrative committee to induce the negative impacts on tourism. So in Chinese geoparks, they usually use electric cars, like shuttle bus for the visitors, and also we use Panasonic's solar panels in the geopark, and also we have other promotion for lower carbon usage to the visitors and the students and the local local communities. So yeah, we are improve that. Yeah, it's improving in our geoparks.
Okay.
And also we have a day to talk about. We have a day about climate change, to talk about how to reduce the impacts, the negative impacts in the geoparks. Yeah, so we are still working on that. I think, yeah, we will pay more attention on that.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And actually, as I mentioned, we have smart tourism monitoring system. So you sit on the building with watch the CCTV and the control, and just if something damage happened, so you may stop that as immediately.
Okay, okay, sounds interesting. Thank you.
Okay, next time, just actually in Shandong province we have Taishan UGGP and the Yimengsan UGGP.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you may have a visit there. Okay.
Yeah, I've been there several times already.
Yeah, you may visit there. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Dr. Xu. Thank you for your amazing talk, and I learned a lot about the geoparks in China. And I have one question about, so under the COVID context, especially in China, they are really restrict lockdown. So I'm thinking, what are they, are there any like coping mechanisms for the park to mitigate the negative impacts of COVID on the local community development due to the low or zero visitation under the lockdown? Or are there any like other response policies that in the geopark to mitigate the impacts of COVID?
So So the point of your question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, could you say again?
So especially like under the COVID pandemic, and then in China, there are really restricted lockdown. So I wonder, under the unpredictable visitation time, are there any coping mechanism or response policies to mitigate the associated impacts on the local community development?
Yes, and this, actually, this is a big challenge in our Chinese geoparks. Most of the Chinese geoparks are always been asking how to mitigate the climate change issue and as I said before, we use some new energy instead of traditional energy, and we just control the number of the visitors during the peak seasons, and we use the monitoring system to monitor to measure the visitor behaviors, and also we give lectures and do the promotion to the local students, communities, and the visitors, and that's what we are working on. But there's still a long way to go. But it's improving, as I said before.
Yeah, I think my question was about the negative impacts of COVID, which is in Chinese is 新冠. So I wonder, like, under this whole pandemic, and you also mentioned how heavily the local community development rely on the tourism. So I'm thinking, how do you balance, like, or like, how are there any like policies in the geoparks to support the local communities?
Yeah, that's really a big challenge, because the pandemic has been more than 2 years, and as you know, our country is still locked down, especially in the last weeks. Shanghai is locked down as well, which is a big issue for the whole country. And at the same time, almost the parks, almost all of the parks have been locked down for a while when the pandemic is like so. The communities, especially the private enterprises, are facing a very harsh time. So it's too difficult for them to survive. So, government try to organize some activities, no matter online or offline, and then they will have some promotional policy to visitors. For example, like ticket free, they encourage the local visitors within the province to visit their parks, and they were like to sell local products for the private companies online, and they will organize some online talk, just decrease the pressure of the local communities. and the stakeholders.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, this is what they can do. So we don't know what we are going on next, but we're still a little bit anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at this situation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big problem so far though for the park. It's a heavily depend on the tourism.
So how about the situation in Canada? I mean, the national parks in Canada,
It's open.
they're open to visitors, right?
Mhm, yes.
So they have a better situation right now.
Yeah, relative better though, better than China. We have no mask requirement right now. Even in Vancouver.
I think in here is kind of opposite situation because we're not lack of visitors, but there's a lot of local employees choose to quit their job. So actually the national park has low employment to support the increasing rate of the visitation.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite difficult. Yeah, right.
How about we go last question? Who want to go last?
Hi, Dr. Xu. Yeah, hi there. I would have two small questions. First one, maybe I'm still a little bit confused about the criteria that mean the establishment of the two kind of concepts about national park and a geopark. Because what I'm familiar with is my hometown has 大别山 UNESCO Geopark. Yeah.
Yeah, for Hubei province, right? Yeah.
But I'm not for sure whether this kind of district or area just like to be divided into the geoparks, national geoparks, or not a national park. Maybe it is characterized in his geology characteristics or not. This is the first question. And second question is about, as I have already mentioned, is about in my hometown, near my hometown is also another kind of park is about the National Mine Park in Huangshi, which is about to trying to
mining park.
Mining park. And this kind of park is about to trying to recover the sites, the mining sites, or because in my opinion, mineral is another kinds of geology conceptions. So it is also the geoparks or another kinds of national park. I'm a little bit confused about this two questions. Thank you.
Yeah, the first question is you're from Dabieshan UGGP, right? So
I'm Huanggang.
Huanggang Dabieshan, yes, right. Yeah. So it's already UGGP.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have been there for a couple of times, and I have been working there for a while, and I have been visited the whole areas of the Huanggang Dabieshan UGGP, which covers more than 2,000 square kilometers, including 7 cities and counties as well. So it's a big area compared to the Chinese geoparks. They have a very significant geological scientific significance. For example, about the rocks, it's not so pretty, but it's very very important. Yeah, have international scientific value. So I don't think that some of the areas in Huanggang UGGP are national geoparks. For example, Bodaofeng.
Yeah, I know it.
Something like that. Yeah, so they are already national park or like national, like a 5A tourism attractions. Yeah, but they just combined all the areas together and established a bigger UGGP. So
That-
they have one a management body to manage all the areas at one time. So this is for the first question. The second question, you just mentioned a mining park in your neighboring area.
Right.
In Huangshi.
Right.
Unfortunately, I have been there a couple of times, and which is a great mining park. Actually, in MLR, Minister of Land Resources, at the beginning, they have two designations. One is National Geopark, another one is National Mining Park. Yeah, National Geopark is focused on the geo-conservation, education, and the sustainable development. But mining park is focused on them because they are areas which has significant mining sites, not only geological sites, mining sites, and would like to recover the ecosystem or the biology, the ecosystem of the area. So they have different focus, but it was established by the same department.
I got it. So
but with the organization for UNESCO, the UGGP has increased a lot of. I mean, the number of the UGP has increased a lot, but not mining park. There are only several, maybe, I don't know, less than 100 maybe, I don't know, but not so popular, not as popular as the National Geoparks. Yeah. The one in your hometown is a very good one.
Yeah, I got it. So maybe the destination of these two parks are different, right? One is focused on recovering, and another one is focused on protection and tourism.
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You got it. Thank you so much. Thank you for your presentation.
Hopefully, next time when you come back, so you may visit Huanggang WSN Geopark.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to, you mentioned about Tian Tundra and Vodafone. I have already been in my childhood, I've been there for some time with my father.
They are very famous tourism destination, but not other areas. You may go to another areas which not so pretty, but with has a very important, significant geological value.
Yeah, that's another good point.
Try to study.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your the wonderful talk, and also I learned a lot from the Q&A session. I have the last question, and I take like my chair opportunity to ask you last question. So you have been visit North America before, right? And you now working in China on the Geopark and Geoheritage. So what we can learn from China and what China can learn from North America, if we're doing the working on the research part, which area we should work together?
That's really a good question. Yeah, because as I just said, we have different geopark management structure. Yeah, you actually in the point of UNESCO, they have paid more attention on the bottom up. Management, but in China it's up bottom. Up down. Yes, with some environmental from local communities. Yeah, we can have some cooperation in some areas such as scientific research. Yeah, educational activities, especially common projects. We can do some common projects. For example, you would like to study glaciers. So we also have glacier geoparks in China, so we can study together.
Sure.
Yeah. For example, something like that, like granite geoparks. Yeah, we can do the comparison, and also we can share some technical work. Technical work. For example, I had a project a few years ago in Fangshan Geopark in Beijing with a big cave, Shihua Dong.
Okay.
And there are a lot of problems with the ligands, you know, in the cave. So it's very hard to erase that. So they organized a common project between Beijing, between Fangshan and another geopark from the UK, where the professors from UK who study the caves. So they organize a team and work in our geopark. So we can do something like that.
Sure, I think that to the comparison about different management system is one of the area we can focus on. I think that for some research area, we can probably in the future can identify some area we can work together.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of fields are you interested in. So we have so many different kinds of geoparks. We may choose several geoparks to work on.
Yeah, I think that both sides can learn each other will be one of the point I would like to do some research in the future. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Dr. Wu, do you still have final comments?
Please say something nice.
Thank you very much, Dr. Xi, for your excellent presentation. I hope my students and the other participants learned a lot from your talk, and also look forward to working with our Chinese colleagues, including yourself, and with the geoparks, national parks, and the other type of protected areas. I look forward for the future. We could have more work together. Thank you again for your wonderful time and with us. We learned a lot.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wu. I'm very appreciate that. Yeah, very nice sharing. Okay.
You're welcome. And
a lot of questions. Yeah, it's so nice. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night and good day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a nice dinner.
Yeah, I'm going to go to dinner.
You have a good weekend.
Oh, have a nice weekend. Yeah, bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you.